Did you guys know that your 10th message that you sent to Claude Code cost you 11 times more than the first message that you sent? Now, it's not because Anthropic is charging you more money for that message. It's actually because the AI is having to reread and re-understand your entire conversation every time you send a message. Now, we actually wanted to do a test on this. So we tested this at my own company inside CodeSpring, and we wanted to see, because we have an agent, and we wanted to see, as we add more context to our agent, how many more tokens do we burn, and can we make our own software more efficient? And it's really interesting data, because 98.5% of the tokens in a message went into rereading old parts of the conversation, and only 1.5% went to actually generating brand new responses. Now, this is kind of where it gets a bit like the chicken and the egg, right? Because we know context makes AI better at coding. It's a fact, right? If the AI doesn't know what your code base is and it doesn't know anything about your app, it's just going to make stuff up. But equally, at the same time, context is also what's burning your tokens. So there's this constant balancing act between how much context do we give it to get a much better output, but how do we not overload it so we don't just burn all of our tokens and run out of usage by 10 a.m., right? And the worst part about all of this is it's about to get significantly worse, because AI models are becoming more expensive, right? We've seen this, subsidies are starting to stop. A lot of these AI labs are starting to realize we've got to start monetizing this and making money from this. So the AI models are becoming more expensive. And what does that mean? It means there is an impact on you for your subscription at Claude Code. You have less usage for the money that you were paying, 2 or 3 months ago. Token efficiency is no longer optional, and a lot of people are starting to realize that they need to be a lot more careful about the messages that they send, how much bloat they're putting in, and what sort of information they're getting the AI to read, because every single token counts, especially when you're trying to stay ahead in the AI race and you've got companies that you're competing with that are also using AI. Now, there's a lot of different tactics out there. We have some tactics we want to share with you today, and you've probably tried a few of them. One of them is caveman mode, right? Which is getting the AI to respond as if it was a caveman, reducing the amount of tokens that it gives you in the chat, okay? And that is obviously going to cut your token usage by quite a lot, but it does have an impact on you in the fact that sometimes the information it gives you is quite hard to interpret, right? The other one is the obvious one of compacting your chat, and Claude Code automatically does this. As your chat reaches a certain length of context, it will automatically compact. You can also run / command like compact, which will basically take all of the information inside your chat and just strip out the stuff that isn't particularly useful and try and keep the useful information. The problem with compacting is you're obviously losing a lot of detail. We all know when we send a long message to an AI, it tends to forget and miss bits inside that long message. And compacting is just going to lose us a lot more information inside the chat. So the other thing that we can do is save repeatable skills. And this is probably one of the best of the different examples that we've got, but this only works if you have a repeatable strategy. The idea being, I spend a long time working on a chat, for example, maybe designing UI, and then once I've got it kind of just as I want it, and I've done all the wrestling with it to get it there, I just create a skill. So the next time that I need to do it, I just run /UI, and it will then use the design styles from the previous session on the new one. And this definitely does help quite a lot, but it doesn't work for a lot of use cases. Now, one of the other ones which we see quite a lot, where people will actually try and switch to a cheaper model, they will reduce the thinking power of their models in order to save tokens. In other words, if they have something that they're working on and they don't think it actually requires as much intelligence, they will use a cheaper model, right? Another thing that really does affect usage, which a lot of people don't talk about, but is a huge, huge problem, is connecting lots of MCPs and more AI tools inside your Claude Code. So if you're getting Claude Code to read, Slack, GitHub, Notion, Linear, Salesforce, Figma, all of these different tools that have MCPs, and you've plugged all of that inside Claude Code, that is just more information that the agent needs to load in order to understand how to connect to these tools every single time you send a message. And the way that MCPs work is it's basically just a massive, massive prompt that tells the AI, here's how to use our MCP. And that could be 10,000 tokens, 50,000 tokens. The GitHub MCP is about 50,000 tokens. Now, this does kind of work, right? All of these different strategies of creating skills, all of these things kind of work. But here's what nobody tells you about when you hit Claude Code limits. The real cost isn't actually your prompts, right? It isn't actually what you're sending in. The real cost is actually the cycle of building software with AI. This is just the way that things have actually sort of panned out. When you build software with AI, you kind of go through this loop, right? Some people call it the death loop, but this is one way of describing it. Find a new feature, and then it will go ahead and break something that you haven't actually meant to touch, right? It will break something that you didn't want it to touch, and then it will load more context in, so you can go ahead and fix that original feature, and then you'll have to compact it, you'll lose that information, and then you repeat that cycle by breaking more and more features, and you end up spending hours and hours and hours building something, breaking something else, and just endlessly spending 30% of your time patching problems that you never really should have had in the first place, right? Now, in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the cycle that's burning your tokens and how to break free of it. Because let me show you, right now, your problem, or right now you think that your tokens are getting eaten by your prompts, right? Long messages, big files, thinking mode left on. Very, very common thought that a lot of people have. So what do? You try and trim it, you try and batch things in, you try and compact your conversations, and all of this helps. But here's what's actually happening every time you design a brand new feature. So let's just say, for example, we open a fresh chat with our AI. We start work in the morning and we're trying to design a new feature for our app, for our existing customers, right? We run an agency and we're trying to design a brand new feature. Here's the thing, every time we start a new chat, it knows nothing about your product, right? It doesn't know what you were working on yesterday, okay? And even if you had a chat from yesterday, you probably start your day by compacting that conversation anyway, which means you spend the first messages re-explaining and refilling the context, okay? So you say, okay, well, I was working on this feature and this is what we're trying to do, these are the problems that we were having, and by the way, can you just reread the code base and just catch yourself up with where you are, right? Understanding what the product does, which features connect to which, what you tried last week that didn't work, because a lot of people end up doing this because they realize that the AI has patterns in the way it makes its mistakes. Now, here's what's interesting, right? That first message is about 3,000 tokens, and that's before the AI has written a single line of code. By message 10, you've used at least 30,000 tokens, right? And by message 30, that's over 232,000 tokens just to get the AI caught up to speed, right? And that isn't even the worst part, right? Because all of that was just the tour. It's just getting the AI caught up to speed with what your product is, what is the new feature you're trying to design, and maybe trying to tinker and create a couple of things, but not really making any progress. Not to mention, right, the time that you have spent getting there, right? Every new feature that you design breaks something that you already have worked on, right? And in order to fix it, you have to load in more context. It's this endless cycle. It doesn't seem to make sense because when you do that, what existed before, you try and tell it what existed before, which features connect, what the bug actually is. You're just loading that context window even more in order to fix the feature that it just broke. And when you finally make progress, you're like, yes, this is actually working. We're finally getting the feature built without breaking something else because we fixed that. You finally have to compact your entire conversation. And once you've compacted everything, you've lost all of the context that you have actually paid to load into the AI. Okay, all of that memory, all of that knowledge, all of that learning that you have done with building and designing and breaking and fixing, all of that you've built up with a 1 million token context window inside Claude Code has just been gone, right? It's been compacted and you've paid money, you've paid your usage to fix that, right? Now the reason this keeps happening is because the structure of the product lives in your head. Every time you sit down to try and design a new feature, you have to re-explain to the AI because you have the context that the AI doesn't. Every fresh chat, you have to translate it out. You have to explain it. You have to give it prompts. And even MCPs that have the connections will bloat your tokens even further, right? All of this while losing context, right? Now, all of the tactics that you've tried have kind of worked, but they haven't really solved the problem, right? They trim kind of around the edges, and they don't actually break the cycle. So let me put this a different way, right? Imagine, for some strange reason, you decide to build a house, right? But every morning, you decide to fire a contractor and hire a brand new one to come in every single day. So Monday morning, you have contractor 1. Tuesday morning, your new contractor arrives to build the house. So you have to spend the morning walking them through the whole house, you're telling them what's already been built, what's not been built, what you tried last week that didn't work, that you need to fix, and what the overall vision of the entire app is. At the end of the day, you have just taken 3 to 4 hours for them to understand the entire build of your house, right? So by the end of the day, when they actually do finally understand it and sit down to do any work, they only make a tiny bit of progress. They only put down one brick and things just start to drag and drag and drag. But for some reason, you decide when they leave at the end of the day, the next morning, you're going to hire a brand new contractor and you're going to have to spend the same hours re-explaining and restarting everything from zero. It doesn't make any sense, okay? Now, this is kind of what's happening right now inside your code base when you're using Claude Code to build apps, especially if you're just vibe coding, you're a non-technical person, you're a business owner trying to build tools for your business or to get customers for your current clients, right? For your current business. You hire a new person every single time you start a conversation, every single time you compact things, right? And you go round the same problem, which is why you feel like you're pulling your hair out. But it's also why it kind of feels addictive to build, because you get a little bit of progress, and just as you make some progress, it takes it away from you again. So you have to keep on going. And it feels like you're just spending your entire life making no progress, right? That is what's happening every time you design a new feature with your AI. Most of your day is spent going on a tour of your entire app, not actually building something, right? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you guys experienced this? Does this kind of make sense with roughly what you're going through, right? You hit the limit by 10 a.m. because half of your tokens went into just basically rebuilding the context, right? And the worst part about all of this is you are exhausted from re-explaining the same thing every single day, every single morning, talking to the AI, trying to explain, this is why I'm building the features. This is how things need to connect. There's a reason why you build the app the way that you do. And that context and understanding of why is in your head because you're a business owner, right? We are business owners that solve problems. And that context and knowledge is stuck in our head, and we have to re-explain that to the AI because left up to its own devices, the AI would just build the feature and wouldn't really think about why it's doing it and how things need to actually work, right? So what you actually need is an AI that doesn't start from zero every single morning. And the good news is there is actually a way to break free of this cycle, and we have come up with a strategy to fix this exact problem. So I'm going to walk you through kind of how this works. Now, it all starts with getting your product structure out of your head, right? Instead of having to sit down there every morning, always re-explaining it, you need to get all of that product context out of your head so the AI could actually see a complete map of your product. So instead of every single morning you having to explain to the AI the full map, inevitably forgetting things, the AI could just go beep, boop, 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 and just read everything and finally understand everything, right? But do it in an efficient way. This is the crucial part, right? So you could see, for example, here's the entire app that we're building. Here's how every feature works, how every connection works, and every user journey. And I want to highlight here the very, very important thing here is not understanding the files, right? Not understanding the code. Okay, the AI can already do that. It can look at your code. It can read the code. What the AI can't do is understand why you have built the app the way that you have and how you've done it in that way, and like the crucial reason of why you're building and designing new features in the way that you are, right? Again, like I go back to from before, you're a business owner. You're trying to solve problems. You know how to solve a problem. You know exactly how your customer is feeling and the features that they need and the way they need to use those features and the user journey, the way it needs to be designed to solve the problem. You need to have a map of how all of that works, right? Without you having to re-explain any of it in a brand new fresh chat every single time. So imagine this, right? Every time you start a conversation or every time you try and design a new feature, what if you could even design new features inside the map? So instead of having to remember everything about your app and then think, okay, I can't sleep at night because now I'm trying to design this new feature, and now I need to think about, okay, now I need to load up into the AI all the stuff that I've built and designed and why I've done it and how everything kind of works and the user journeys, and then re-explain to it, now we want to design this new feature and try and somehow make no mistakes while doing all of that. You could actually design new features inside the map. Okay, you could turn these tasks into Kanban tasks for your AI to build. You could basically create a full project plan for an entire feature that the AI could just build and just tick off those tasks, right? You would be able to control what your AI builds and not what it breaks, and making sure it doesn't break something, okay? Now, a lot of people at this point say to me, well, isn't this just plan mode in Claude Code? Here's the thing. Plan mode in Claude Code is only existing in one chat. What plan mode does is it goes through and it reads all of your files inside the code base. It identifies, here's the best way to build the feature, and it will go ahead and write the code. It's incredible for executing code. What it's not good at is designing features. It's not good at understanding why things need to go together the way that they do. It's not good at putting all of this stuff together and mapping it all out and seeing how does this user journey work? How does the user flow work? Claude Code plus that with plan mode would be incredible. So you could control what your AI builds and what not to break, right? Locking down specific features. Now, we've actually built this system, okay? We've called it CodeSpring, and it's an incredible tool. The way it works is very simple. You connect your code base directly inside CodeSpring, and you visualize that code base. And within about 30 seconds, you have a full map of how your entire code goes together, all of the different features with detailed explanations on how they work, plus the full tech stack. You can even do a whole load of other stuff as well, which I'll walk you through in a second, right? It shows you every feature, every connection. You can see user journeys. All of that is now visible for you. So you have a structure. Your product structure is now living outside of your head, outside of the chat. You have it stored in one place. We convert nonsensical technical jargon into user journeys and features and why things go together. Now what you do is you plug the map into whatever AI tool that you are using, whether it's Claude Code, whether it's Cursor, whether it's, I don't know, Codex, whatever tool that you are using, you plug it into. So then now Claude Code or Lovable or Cursor or Codex can actually read your map. So when you start a conversation, instead of having to re-explain everything, you can just say, okay, this is how this feature works, or look at this feature, and then it can grab the context that it needs. You could crucially now take that map and design new features inside the map, figure out how does this connect to existing features, drop in a new feature, spend some time figuring it out in a sandbox before you get the AI to build anything. So you know it's not going to break anything when it starts, right? You turn them into Kanban tasks that now your AI knows exactly what to build as a full list of tasks, and it goes ahead and just ticks off those tasks. And the best part is it connects through CLI, not MCP. Now, MCPs are incredibly bad when you're vibe coding or building with AI because there's a huge amount of context play. A CLI will use roughly 10 times less the amount of tokens than an MCP will use. It also comes with a specific skill that tells the AI exactly how to use it, so you're not spending hours explaining how to use the tool, where to find the information. You can quite literally just say, use the CodeSpring CLI and find information on this feature, and it will do it just like that, and it will only use maybe 500 or 1,000 tokens. Once you've done that, you push a feature, the map will update automatically, and then you can just design new features inside the map, and it will always update with your code. Your AI never has stale context, ever. You always have a map for what you're designing. Now, we've actually tested this with thousands and thousands of customers. We've got a guy called Matt Trees who actually built a software for his agency on his own. He runs a company called BuzzCube, and he does about £4 million a month from his agency, but he's actually built a software without hiring a single developer, all himself using this. So, who would like to see this in action? Let me just do a quick demo for you guys, and I'll just put it for you. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. So this is, you come into CodeSpring, you can go to codespring.app and create your account and sign up and grab yourself a subscription. All you need to do is you can get your, let's just go to GitHub, right? I'll do a quick example here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this app here. I always use this as examples, but we're going to copy this. I'm going to come into here, create a new project. We're going to paste it in. We're going to say, I want you to read this code base and list out what are the features that make this app work. All I know is roughly it's got some stuff about generating images and videos for content. And can you map out all the features in the mind map for me? And we can send that through. Now you can actually connect this CodeSpring directly into MCP tools like Linear or GitHub. So you can actually pull information from anywhere, map it all out first, figure out how things work. Now I'm showing you here how you can turn the code base into a mind map, but you can also do it the other way around as well. So you can actually just design something completely from scratch using this. So all we're going to do is just allow this to go ahead and use the GitHub MCP, and it's going to go ahead and read the code base. Just like that, it's figured out, okay, this is what the app is. So it's a planning workspace to extract. And then here we go, here's all the different features. Started to read through all the different features inside our app. So we could say, can you explain how this app generates B-roll content, and can you add it into the map? Okay, what you can also do from all of this is you can actually then say, okay, now I kind of know what the basic core features are. I could go ahead and I can see where we've got content listings, so we can actually search for different content. We've got content creation and editing. So actually, you know, I could add this to context with a right click, and I could say, can you just explain a little bit more about how this feature works, for example? And all of this information is then going to be added into this mind map, which is really, really cool. Okay, let's just clean this up, save that. And then now once we have it all loaded up, you can then design brand new features into this. So for example, let me just pause this now. Like that, you can see how B-roll is generated, and now we have context on how it's done. Now you can go through and you can edit this and you can tailor it and you can update it so it's up to date with what you want, or you can design new features exactly like that. You can see, okay, well, these are the sub features that go into making the B-roll generation actually work, right? And now we're building up this context. We could actually do, for example, scouts. So we could do competitor research. And then we could actually generate a report and design a new feature off that, okay? So we could say, for example, just now, what do you think is a new feature that we could build that we haven't actually got inside this app? Can you design it for me, add the sub-features on how it works, and then add some notes for me? And then you can actually start to design a feature. Now, obviously, I recommend that you spend a little bit more time figuring out, you know, what is the feature that you want to build. But now we can visually see all of the features inside our app, how it works, what are the sub-features that go into making a feature actually work. You can see here, for example, for the B-roll generation, right, we have input ingestion, prompt templating, asset generation, obviously safety and filtering, different things like rendering, for example. All of these are things that go into making a feature work. And this is all done in an understanding, in a way that you can understand as a non-technical person, right? It's not done in a technical way. It's not listing out, here's the different files. It's converting the technical stuff into a language that you can understand, so you can design new features, for example. So it's just designed a new feature for us, auto storyboard. So you can see here, auto storyboard and short form content, and it's gone ahead and it's created some sub features and some notes. Okay, so now what we can do is we can say, okay, I want to start building the new feature auto storyboard. I love that. Can you go ahead and create some Kanban tasks on how to build it? And just like that, I can now, let me just, if you auto layout and click on save, I've actually now designed a brand new feature that's basically going to turn a script or an outline into a timed storyboard, segment scenes, all this stuff. That sounds cool. You can see all the different features and how it works. And if you don't like it, right, you can just edit it, or you can ask the AI to edit it. And now what it's going to do is it's going to take all of this context and knowledge and information, and it's going to create tasks that the AI can then tick off to build. So now we're designing features inside a map instead of having to continuously explain to the AI what our app does, how it works, and what we want the new feature to actually do. And then just like that, we can then see here we've got all the different Kanban tasks for that build, right? All we need to do now is come back to here, click on connect to your AI agent, run these commands, and then inside Claude Code, I don't know if I have a Claude Code terminal open, let's just do new Claude Code terminal. We can just do here. Can you use the CodeSpring CLI and tell me for the AI B-roll maker tutorial project, what are the Kanban tasks that we need to run to build it? And it's going to be able to now read these specific tasks. And then all you need to do is say to the AI, okay, now, obviously I want you to go ahead and put this into in progress and build. And it should now list out the different tasks that we have for us to actually build. So all of this is very, very efficient. It's only using a couple of tokens to actually then load it in, design new features. And now the AI can actually just get the information that it needs straight away without you having to re-explain everything over and over and over again to the AI. So, if you guys think this is useful, you think it's going to save you a lot of time, all you need to do is click the link down below. You can head to codespring.app and you can grab yourself a subscription. I'm just going to go ahead. You can see here, got the task list. There's 11 to-dos across the build, and you can see here's how all the things worked, linked into high priority and medium priority. And then from there, you can just say, cool, go ahead and build these features for me, right? Which obviously I'm not going to do because I'm not currently working inside this code base. But just like that, in the space of 5 minutes, we have imported and visualized an entire code base, designed a new feature. And don't forget, right, all of these things, if you click right-click, add bridge, for example, you can actually now add your own context, okay? So you can do all sorts of things. You can click around in here. You can take, here's some notes on how I would like this feature to actually work. And you can store it, right? You have the AI agent as well, which can help you do all of this stuff. You can actually come into here, MCP service, we're putting it into integrations in the side. And then you can actually connect anything else. So you can connect, for example, you can see here, I've got it connected to Linear. So I'm putting in my company data. So I can use that to ingest into here, plan out and design new features. And once all of this is cleaned up and I understand what it's going to do, I then just get AI to build it for me. So that is basically how everything works inside CodeSpring. Now, if you want to stop hitting Claude Code limits and you want to stop re-explaining yourself, all you need to do to get started is click the link down below in the description. I will leave it as a top link in the description. Now, I built CodeSpring because I needed it. I needed it when I first started vibe coding, and I still need it every time I build something. I always design brand new products inside CodeSpring first, and then I use CodeSpring to allow me to continue designing new features. We have thousands and thousands of other founders who use it too. So here's what you get for just £49 a month. Right? You get a full visual map of your product, auto-generates from your code, that allows you to design new features inside the map. You get AI handoff to whatever tool that you want through CLI. Okay. We also have auto-sync as you build. So you can just say, okay, now I've built this new feature, ask Claude Code, can you just synchronize back into CodeSpring and let it know that I've built it? Alternatively, you can resynchronize through GitHub. We also do monthly live calls with me. I am the founder of CodeSpring. With all of our users, I will show you some of the new features. I will train you up. I'll help you if you're getting stuck with coding. We do lots of different classes where we talk about building with AI, getting people unstuck. It's a full live class that you can sit in, you can ask questions, there's a full live chat, and basically we just help you, we get your feedback on new features, you can tell us what new features you would like us to build. And every now and again, if you need help, you can actually get one-to-one founder support when you need it. So if you come inside the app, there's actually a button where you can book a call with Hussein, and he will help you get set up with anything that you need when you're building your app. So, all of that for just £49 a month. Oh, we also have a private community of founders building software with CodeSpring. Plus, there's a whole load of other bonuses for all of the founders who sign up with the link down below, which you'll find out when you sign up to an account. We just don't have time to go through everything. I'll give you an example. There's also Scouts, which is competitor research for you, which is basically just runs automated research in the background. So you never have to even think about anything and design new features that your competitors have built or keep ahead of your competitors. Now, this is completely designed to stop the cycle that's burning your credits in the first place. No long contracts. You can cancel any month. All you need to do is click the link down below to get started. Hopefully you guys sign up with CodeSpring. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. We will be doing more tutorials. If there's any videos you would like to see on CodeSpring, please let us know down below in the comments.